How's it going, guys? So today we're going to be starting to work on the second silo. We got the excavator back to dig the footing. Just marked it out. So we're building 3 silos coming this way. That's the farthest one. The last silo is going to stick out onto the lane a little bit, but it works out the best that way for getting it into the feed room. I got a little bit of cow work to do, and then we'll be back to help him move some dirt then. I'm not going to use that dump trailer this time, just planning to bucket it over. I should be able to keep up pretty well and want to stack it in that pile there. Stopping for lunch now. Almost done digging this. Dug out underneath one of our posts. Guess that's alright. We'll get concrete underneath it again. I'm gonna get a tamper in to tamp this down a little bit. We hit a 8-inch pipe right there. Kind of forgot about that, but we used to have a slurry store. It was an above ground manure pit right in this area. There's a small pit that was out behind our old tie stall barn. They would pump manure across underground to this pit. Some of that pipe's still in the ground. Didn't catch it on this side though, so it must have been broken off at some point. Kind of surprised us for a second to see this nice clean pipe. Looks like something you don't want to break. He's about done digging that footing. There's one other thing we wanted to do, and that's dig our trench for the electric line we're running from our parlor whole way over to the shop there where the feed room is going to be. The power for our shop right now is coming from our old feed room across overhead to this barn and then across to the shop. We're planning to tear our old feed room out of there, so we're going to lose that electric feed anyway. And we have the 3-phase power in this barn ready. The other thing is, when we do have a power outage, we'll have the generator running the parlor and everything. That'll automatically power the feeding system as well. We don't need to worry about having 2 generators set up or something. Simplifies everything a little bit. The other day I actually started this with a neighbor's backhoe and I got out to the driveway. Stone was just too packed, so we decided we're going to need a bigger machine. We're running this big line over to the shop out that way, and then the smaller line's going to go to the left over to that shed because we don't have any power in there right now. So I'm going to paint this line out for him so he knows where to dig. Try to get the angles about right. Got some different shapes. We got 45s and 90s. 90s are harder to pull the wire through, but I'm gonna try to keep it along the side of the driveway where the dirt's not as tough to dig through. Yep, there we did it. Slowly bring that one across to the shop there. We're gonna tamp this quick just before they get their rebar in. That excavator's having no trouble with it. I just finished this small line over to the shed. It's soon time to feed cows, but I'd like to get this done now so I don't have to worry about this trench in the way. We built this barn in 2004, it'd be 20 years ago, and we used the same excavating company. He remembers filling this all in, broken up a bunch of concrete to make this driveway. He said he didn't know he'd be digging this back up again, but it's not surprising that we're digging it up. It's how it usually goes. At some point you want to dig stuff back up. We did not pour concrete, but it almost seems like we did because of how hard this layer of rock is at the top. I couldn't dig through it with the little backhoe, but got that one bent that way, and got a 90 now right here. Run down and got a 45 to bend over towards the shop. We wanted to make sure we had this trench deep enough because we don't want our electric lines to freeze. I got all the pipe laid the whole way across. The electrician will run that through the wall then and put a box inside the shop. It's time to feed cows now, so I'm just gonna cover this part of the driveway so I can get across with the mixer and a little bit over there. Silo guys just left. They got all their rebar laid in.
tape and concrete here.
Yeah.
And then we already put more in because it got well.
Takes a lot of concrete to get that thing filled up. I was just looking at our dry cows. Last week we stuck that run of water beds in. It was out of our old barn that we had torn out. Kind of surprised. The cows don't seem to be liking them too much. I know they liked them in the free stall before we tore them out. Just hoping somebody tries it and maybe they'll all like them more. They got the footer finished up. It's looking pretty good. We had to bring some cinder blocks over because the dirt was just a little too low on this side. That's a lot of concrete. Now you can get an idea of what the gap is between the silos. I guess it'll be about 8 feet apart. Tried to think through how we'd like to have them laid out. These two silos, both of the chutes are going to come down on this side, and there's going to be conveyors running straight into that room. The conveyors won't be very long. That silo is going to be a longer conveyor running over. Hey guys, it's the next day here. So today I want to put the second pass of fertilizer on our spring forage crops. It's a cloudy day, got a little bit of a shower already. It's actually kind of a good thing with the fertilizer we're spraying on. It can kind of burn the plants a little bit if it's hot and sunny out. The other week I already got these different nozzles on the sprayer. They're stream nozzles, so they're not going to fan it out like the normal sprayer. It's just going to be little beads of fertilizer. We want the fertilizer down on the roots, not so much on the leaves. Let's get the tractor hooked up. Got the fertilizer trailer parked out front. We're running the same fertilizer as last time. It's a 27004, so it's nitrogen with a little bit of sulfur. We'll get started in this field right behind the freestall barn. The fields aren't too soft. We only got maybe 1/10 of an inch of rain, if that, this morning. We did get over an inch about half a week ago, but it's getting fit enough again. For some reason at first the rate controller wasn't responding, or it wasn't making adjustments to my speed, but now it's working good. It's working well. It doesn't seem like good field work weather, but this is actually perfect for what we're doing. There's a lot of water on these leaves, but that'll keep that fertilizer from sticking to them and potentially burning them. A couple videos back I showed you these new stream nozzles we put on the sprayer. We had these yellow ones before, and these are smaller ones. I wanted to run a little heavier rate, not have to go so slow, so We got these gray nozzles. They're actually still slightly slow. I only have one every 30 inches. We were skipping one of the nozzles, every other one. Thought maybe I could just spin these down and we could run a combination. They overlap just fine. If I run these small nozzles along with, I could go a little faster, get the same rate. I was going like 7 miles an hour at 40 pounds of pressure, which is kind of slow. I don't really want to go any slower than that. It'd be nice if I could run 8 or 9 miles an hour at 30 pounds of pressure. That actually works out really well. I was going about 8.5, 9 miles an hour. So it's okay to run different size nozzles every other one because they're overlapping the whole way across. It's gonna be an even rate across the back of the sprayer. We were just trying to save a little bit of money rather than buying a new nozzle for every single one. We just bought one for every 30 inches. I've been spraying for a while. The rain's really starting to come down now. I'm not sure if it's gonna get too muddy. If I should be running on this or not. Making some tracks, but the crop is so thick that it's keeping the mud off my tires. Just kind of matting down the crop a little bit. Wasn't expecting it to be raining quite this much today. Trying to go uphill is a problem. I start spinning and tearing up mud then. I filled the sprayer for the last time. Decided to keep moving. It's a little bit wet out here, but we're getting it. Driveway's a muddy mess now. Dad's getting the cows fed. I just rinsed off the sprayer a little bit. There's some mud that was getting thrown up from the wheels. Now I'm just putting some water into the rinse tank so I can wash it out a little bit, run some water through the nozzles. We put 30 gallons per acre total of the fertilizer on this spring on the Triticale. Pretty much shoot for March 1st and then April 1st, somewhere around those weeks. We like to do split application just because it doesn't need all that nitrogen at once. That way the plants can use it up and there's less chance that it'll leach away, get washed away in the water, or evaporate, or whatever it does. It's worth splitting it into 2 applications. It takes a little bit more time, but this Triticale is really going to take off now. Stuff's already over a foot tall and it's going to be over our waist before too long. That's going to be it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next one.